The Idiot's Guide: How to Smoke Pork Spare Ribs, demonstrated by Robert Smoky Bones Giordano. If you're like me and you enjoy ribs but don't enjoy the price to take your family out to eat, then this will interest you. To feed a family of four could easily cost you over $60. Follow these simple steps and you can savor in the flavor as well as in the savings. I put the skill level needed as moderately skilled. You don't necessarily have to be a chef, but you do have to bring some skills to the table. The cost $100 to $250 depending on the smoker model, and the time frame at 6 to 8 hours depending on the meats. Safety. Always make sure to use your smoker in a well ventilated area at least 10 feet away from any structure or vegetation. Only use your electric smoker on a GFCI plug. GFCI stands for Ground Fault Circuit Interrupter, and in the event of an electrical problem, the plug will prevent any further electricity going to the smoker itself. If using an extension cord, it must be rated for outdoor use and no less than a 14 3-gauge. Make sure that the surface is flat and free from any debris. Equipment needed. The electric smoker model demonstrated is by Cabela's and can be purchased at any fine hardware store or sporting goods retailer near you. The typical voltage is 110 and the typical dimensions are 23 by 23 by 36, so you're taking up no more room than a standard college refrigerator. List of materials. Now this is what works for me. This needs to be adapted to your taste and or your region of the country. Some people like it wet, some people like it dry, so this is what works for me, so you're going to have to adapt it to your taste. 5 racks of pork spare ribs, approximately 10 pounds. Again, this is for a 25 to 30 group, so you'll need to scale back according to the number of people you are trying to accommodate. 1 12-ounce container of your favorite spice rub. 1 2-pound package of wood chips such as hickory, oak, cherry, or any combination. I usually pick the wood chip based on what meat I'm smoking. The longer the meat is going to take, the more subtle the flavor needs to be from the wood chip. If you're going to be smoking pork, I definitely would not recommend hickory and or mesquite. They're very pungent. Use those for chickens, but oak is a really good choice. 1 container of your favorite barbecue sauce, optional, and a barbecue mop. Again, this is regional. I don't usually use it here in my house, but if you're from Kansas City, then you're going to want to smother it. Aluminum foil or plastic wrap. To prepare the ribs, open and drain ribs into sink to prevent any cross-contamination. Quickly rinse ribs and pat dry and set to the side. With a knife and a paper towel, grab the silver connective tissue located on the concave side of the ribs, and with the paper towel, grab and pull back and begin to cut the thick membrane away. This is not for the faint of heart, but you're going to get the best possible product. The smoke will be able to penetrate the meat better without that tissue in its place. Place ribs on a baking sheet and rub the spice mixture evenly on all sides of the ribs. The more the better. You're going to think that there's way too much on there, but don't be afraid to really just slather it on there. Wrap the ribs in plastic wrap or aluminum foil and allow it to marinate overnight or at least 2 hours. The longer the better. A lot of people forget to take this step, and it really makes the difference in how your ribs taste, but just really go heavy on the spice mixture. Take 2 to 3 handfuls of the wood chips and allow to soak in the water for 1 hour. You want your wood chips to smoke but not catch on fire, so you have to really soak them in water for this time period. You want to also follow your manufacturer's recommendations and preheat your smoker without any wood chips. This typically takes about 5 to 10 minutes depending on your model. Drain the wood chips and place into the designated smoking chamber equipped on your model. Allow the chips to come to a full smoke, about 10 to 15 minutes. You should see smoke emitting from around your smoker. Arrange the ribs on each grate so they aren't touching the sides of the smoker or other racks. Allow the smoke to envelop the meat to achieve that smoky goodness. Adjust the temperature control knob to 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Smoke for about 1 hour per pound of meat. Remember, the key to good barbecue is low and slow. Ribs will be done when they have reached an internal temperature of 175 to 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Insert a digital probe into the thickest part of the meat to get an accurate reading. The easiest way is if the meat has shrunk on the end of the bone by about 1/4 of an inch. If desired, you can baste the ribs with your sauce of choice and return them to the gas grill for 5 to 7 minutes per side, being careful to avoid any flare-ups. The sugar content in the barbecue sauce is so high that you really have to be vigilant and make sure that it doesn't catch on fire. The next step is crucial and missed by many. Wrap the ribs in heavy-duty aluminum foil and allow to rest. This will let the juices flow back into the meat and distribute extra flavor. This will also steam the meat and tenderize it further. Bon appetit! Troubleshooting. No smoke coming from your smoker. Adjust or add more wood chips to smoking pan or GFCI is tripped. The internal temperature is below safety zone. Turn temperature up in 10-degree increments until it is achieved. Not enough smoke flavoring. Cut slits into meat and make sure all silver connective tissue is removed. Temperature is too high. Add more liquid to the reservoir. Thank you. Again, this is my recipe. This is going to have to be customized to your liking, and I hope that you find this informative and enjoyable. Thank you.